Hi, Nick here, and today's tip involves trying different kinds of strings for your electric guitar. So today I'm going to talk about a couple of things. One, using pure nickel strings, and number two, if you have a Strat, trying out Fender's Bullet End Strings. So I'll start off talking about pure nickel strings, and here I have DR Pure Blues, which is a pure nickel string. Now, what does that mean? Generally, electric guitar strings, the treble strings, 1, 2, and 3, are going to be just regular plain steel. And then usually the 4th through the 6th strings are going to be wound with some sort of material, generally some sort of a steel alloy. Now, there's nickel-plated steel, which is a little bit warmer than steel, and then there's pure nickel, which is what these are. So the bass strings are wound with pure nickel, which sounds a lot warmer than other alloys. Basically, this was the way strings were made back in the 50s and 60s at the dawn of rock and roll. So you get a really nice, warm, kind of vintagey, classic rock blues tone. And they're also great if you have a really bright sounding guitar and you want to warm it up a little bit. So if you're playing a single coil like a Strat or a Tele and it's just a little too bright, using pure nickel strings is a really great way to warm the guitar up a little bit. So speaking of Strats, I also have these. These are Fender Bullet End Strings. They're pure nickel, but I should also note that Fender makes non-bullet strings, just like with the regular ball end, and they also make other kinds of strings that are not pure nickel, like nickel plated or steel wrap. So anyway, the bullets are designed specifically for use with Stratocaster tail pieces. They have a bullet-shaped string end that fits into it fits snugly into the tremolo routing in Strats. So the idea is that the snug fit of the bullet end makes the strings more stable in terms of tuning. You get a little bit better sustain, and they're supposed to be less likely to break. In general, I've found that the bullet end strings mostly do what they say. You do get some more tuning stability. You do get a little bit more sustain. I never really broke a lot of strings anyway, but I can see how they would be a little less likely to break because they feel a little bit stiffer. So the flip side is that they're not quite as loose. If you really like a loose sounding string, feeling string, if you're doing a lot of bends, I don't know that necessarily makes them harder to bend. It's just kind of a feel thing. But the flip side of that is that they seem to stay in tune a little bit better. And like I say, you do get a little bit more sustain. The flip side of the sustain is that it seems like they're a little bit less dynamic because of that. So it's kind of a mixed package. You have some benefits and some things that you give up with the bullet end strings, but if you have a Strat, then you should probably try them out at one point just to see if you like them or not. You may decide that you do. If you don't have a Strat, you should also note that the Fender Bullet Strings will not work in your guitar. You should just use regular ball end strings because the bullets will be too big to go through most tail pieces. Like if you have a Gibson style tail piece or like the string through body Tele or anything like that, it may not work for you. So like I say, Fender makes ball ends and bullet end strings both. So these days, a lot of string companies have a pure nickel string, and I've used several different ones. Recently, I've used the Fenders, DRs, I've used GHS, Ernie Ball has one, and they're all pretty good. I really like these DR strings here. They're sort of a step above. They're not super expensive, and it really feels like a boutique kind of product. It's got a nice feel to it. The strings feel a little bit textured. They're easy to bend, and they're pretty good, long-lasting strings that I like a lot. If you're just looking for a good all-around set of pure nickel strings, these are good to try out. Okay, so anyway, I hope you found this tip on trying different strings out for your electric guitar helpful. I've tried to highlight two strings that are often overlooked by people. That is pure nickel strings and Fender's Bullet End Strings if you have a Strat. But the important thing is to just mix it up. If you have strings that you've been using for a long time, even if you like them, it wouldn't hurt to go and try a few different brands or styles of string. And if nothing else, it'll remind you why you like the set you've been using. But you may decide that you want to try some other strings for a while as well. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. So this is the way strings were made back in the 50s and 60s. And the nickel strings have a really nice warm tone to them. They tend to last a little bit longer than other kinds of strings for some reason. And they really work great for blues, classic rock, blues rock, anything where you're looking for a vintage feel, some kind of garage rock. People like them. And you might like them no matter what you're playing, but those are really the genres where it excels. Okay, so I hope this video has given you some things to think about and maybe will encourage you to try some different kind of strings on your guitar. It's just good to experiment. There are a lot of